Hi all, so this is going to be our video walkthrough for the week 2 DNA inheritance paper. As you see, this is the syllabus, so it'll look a little bit different for you guys. I'm just giving it to you this way so I don't have to worry about anyone's names. You won't see the faculty, you'll see the student stuff, right? And ignore by book, you're going to use the vital source, so click into there. So remember, you can click on any of these to get more information and feedback. We're going to click on the DNA inheritance. And then this part for instructions is going to change a little bit, be basically the same. We will get to that in a minute. Now you notice the first step says you're supposed to look at the monocross lab and the family tree. So family tree is the other assignment in this week, and that's just so you can pull a trait from that. But right now, let's look at that cross. So click here, and then we're going to click on week 2 interaction. Okay, so here you're going to have this whole long list, and you want to find the one that says monohybrid cross. So you're going to click on that. Hello everyone. So this is going to be what you see here, and I'm going to put it on mute really quickly so we're not constantly hearing what it's talking about. There you go. So mute. But you'll want to listen to everything. Click on different words because it will tell you what it means. Make sure you go through everything. Click on anything possible because that will give you more and more information, right? We want all the information we can get from each slide. So just keep going through everything. You do next, see all the various stuff, and try it all out. Really try to work with it so you understand what's going on. Now remember, when they're talking about the trait and what it looks like, that will be our phenotype. Let's see if it tells you. So like flat top would be the phenotype, and then your genotype will be whatever letters you have for it. Okay? So go through that, make sure you do every little step, make sure everything's clicked on, okay? Now let's go look at the instructions that you'll see. All right, so the instructions that you're gonna get are gonna look like this. You'll notice there's no maximum word count. Well, let me pause it and see if I can make the screen. There we go. You can see the whole Word document. Okay, so you'll have only a minimum. I pretty much only have a minimum. Now for this, it's gonna say how many points you get for everything. For the prompt is basically the same, then that your citing references is going to be a point, right? In APA format. And then you're going to have blah blah. Let's say in cite all references in APA format and use APA format. There you go. That's better. And then click on the assignment tabs to submit your assignment, right? So you do it all. It's going to be in a Word document. You format it so it looks APA. And then you submit it. Now here's how I would approach this brief paper, right? So first in the introduction, I would cover this first part, right? So I'm going to talk about what is a phenotype, what is a genotype, and then end with a thesis like through the examination of phenotypes, a genotype can be determined. So that gives you the broad of an introduction, and then you narrow into your thesis, which is what we like to see in the introduction. Then I'll probably have a section called phenotype and DNA. And in that paragraph, I would discuss the different routes of inheritance and how those affect the phenotype. So if I were you, I would go figure out what the trait is in your family and say like, okay, I'm going to cover dimples. Now how is that dominant recessive? Is that whatever? And then that's what I would throw into this paper with maybe another type of inheritance just to give a couple of them. But that's what you kind of want to be thinking about. So then the next paragraph would be the trait and the hypothesis or section. I like to have headings. It just makes my brain work better as a writer, but you do not have to do that. Just make sure I know what you're talking about. So then discuss the phenotypes in your family. So if I was going to do hair color, I might say that my mom has red hair, my dad has black hair, I have brown hair, my grandparents, one side had red hair, blonde, the other side had brunette and black. And those would be the phenotypes for this trait. And I would want to talk about the person that I'm going to talk about. So maybe I'm going to talk about my hair type. Then I discuss again, how is this trait inherited? So up here I talked about generally how this works. Like, you know, if I say dominance and recessive, what does that mean? What am I going to see if I have a dominant and a recessive allele? 2 dominants, 2 recessive. Here, I'm going to just briefly go into that. Like this trait is inherited the same way. Good enough. Just check the box. Just make sure I said it. And I want to end with a hypothesis. That is something to the point of my hypothesis is that I, in this case, have the genotype. I have brown hair, so I would say I have big A, little a. And I'll just pick one, and I'll pick the person, and then I'm saying what the genotype is. Okay, then the next section or paragraph is going to be on testing. So how can I test this? Who can I talk to? Can I use statistics? Can I do an analysis? Can I use a Punnett square. What can I do that would work so I could see what the genotype is? And then a conclusion would be a quick wrap up on how genotypes and phenotypes are important and why we might want to know what they are. Is there a disease where it would be good to be able to tell it if something's hiding? Or is it just, nice to know that even if your mother's a redhead, you can have brown hair? I don't know. Whatever makes you happy. But that's going to be how I would approach this paper. You do not have to approach it the same way, just as it makes logical sense, and I thought you might enjoy having a guide. Now let's look at the more traditional style rubric really quick. Why hit save? I don't know. Why is it telling me that? Okay, so here's our more traditional style, and this is just going to have the paragraphs in here, and then it says how many points it's out of, and reminding you the same thing, and then saying you need a point for grammar. Also, here's a good reminder, if you do not have any reference citations, you get a 0 on the whole friggin' assignment. So in this assignment, it is a requirement to have at least one full reference citation with at least one matching in-text citation. Okay, so make sure you have that in there. So hopefully this makes the assignment make a little bit more sense, having me walk through it, and helps make sense. I personally, what would I do? I would probably do the family tree, kind of figure out what everybody's phenotypes is for all those traits, kind of see what's going on, do some basic research on them, and then hit this assignment once I know what those phenotypes and inheritance modes are, because you might be like, oh, you know what, this is a really cool thing, or you might be like, you know what, my family trait that I actually want to talk about that's totally separate from the rest of them is totally perfect. Or you might say, I thought I wanted to do widow's peak, but now I really want to do eye color. So that's how I would approach it, and then do this paper and then finish up the PowerPoint, so kind of take a break in the middle. But again, it is up to you, whatever works for you. Like, I'm not you, I approach things potentially a different way. This is how it works for me. I hope this helps you.